Have you seen adolescents? Of course you've seen adolescents. Everyone in the world has seen adolescents. Now, the first thing to say here is that although this is not a post about the TV and film industry, it's actually a post about the real-life issues behind adolescence, it's always worth, albeit briefly, celebrating a TV show once again impacting our nation's public debate. Just like Mr. Bates versus the Post Office. Yes, adolescence has made us think about knife crime. Yes, it's made us think about the communication between parents and children. And yes, it's made us think about the vulnerability of those children online. And just like Mr. Bates versus the Post Office, it's fantastic that art is leading the conversation on lasting social change, leaving politicians, who should be setting the agenda, struggling to keep up with the lessons learned from a TV programme. However, just like Mr. Bates versus the Post Office, the real-life scandal behind adolescence, namely knife crime, has been known about for years. The concern is always that as a show fades from memory, so do the conversations about the issues behind it. How many people know that many of those affected by the Horizon IT scandal still haven't received the compensation they believed they were entitled to? Similarly, many of the families of knife crime victims still have to live with its consequences every day. Foremost in my thoughts is a friend of mine, who I met playing football locally at Hambledon FC. His son was murdered nearly 2 years ago at a party in West Sussex. Now, I don't feel like it's my place to tell his story, so here is Martin Cossa, father of Charlie Cossa, to tell you all about him.
Hi, my name's Martin Cossa. I'm the founder and CEO of the anti-knife crime charity Charlie's Promise, that was set up in memory of my 17-year-old son Charlie Cossa, who went to a party on Saturday, July the 22nd, 2023, and never came home. We were the family that got the knock on the door in the early hours of the Sunday, 2 police officers, to tell us that Charlie had been stabbed and that he was critical. We shot off towards the Royal Sussex, where and got diverted because Charlie had had a traumatic cardiac arrest. We arrived at the Royal Sussex after that, where he had another one, and Charlie fought for his life for 3 days before he sadly died on Tuesday the 25th of July at 20 to 8 in the evening. Charlie had lost every milligram blood in his body, had a ruptured bowel, ruptured spleen, been stabbed in the heart. Charlie was a young man that wouldn't have had an argument with anybody, let alone a fight, and we say if it can happen to Charlie, it can happen to anyone. But I made my son a promise before he switched off his life support machine that I would spend the rest of my life educating young groups of people about the dangers and the measurable impacts of knife crime. I've now visited 110 locations. I've spoken to 23,000 young people. I've been to prisons to understand the emotional drivers behind why people pick up knives. I go to SEND schools, alternative provision schools, to speak to the vulnerable young children. I've spoken to primary school kids. I've been to state schools, public schools, and everything in between. I've even been to Chelsea Academy. But as I say, if it can happen to Charlie, it can happen to anyone. I have ambitious plans for our charity. We really believe, and I believe as a dad, as much as an anti-knife crime charity CEO, that everything starts with education. But I think we need to invest in our young people. I've recently watched Adolescence, and I know Bob Cryer has referred to Adolescence. And what I found with Adolescence is it was a real... I think for parents it would have really probably scared them, and for young people probably resonated with them. But for me, it really identifies the gap between, and I'm speaking generally, us as parents and our young children. They live in this digital bubble in a world that's almost just like a fake world, and that needs to change. We need to get more children outside. We need to invest more money and time into our young people. I've just been invited to join the government's anti-knife crime coalition, where I'm hoping to influence laws in this country. I've had 2 meetings with Minister Dame Diana Johnson already, where we're campaigning for compulsory knife crime to be on the PSHE content, and I just won't stop. Charlie Cossa deserves a legacy, and our young people deserve to be able to go out and feel safe when they go out of an evening. They should be able to come home. But Bob, I just want to say a massive thank you to you What a lovely guy you are, and I wish you all the best with the Edinburgh Half Marathon. Not that you're going to need it. I see you run around a football pitch week in, week out, and you do very, very well. But from the bottom of my heart, Bob, thank you. And to anyone that wants to support us, from the bottom of my heart again, thank you so much. We'll be so grateful for your support.
Now, it's because of Martin and the charity he set up in his son's name, Charlie's Promise, that I'm going to run the Edinburgh Half Marathon on May the 25th. And I'm inviting you all to pledge some money to help this important organisation. It's an uncomfortable morning in Scotland's capital for me and my aged bones, but hopefully a lucrative one for Martin and the charity. So please dig deep, please give generously. Every pound helps spread awareness and helps fund education to combat this horrific epidemic. Do it for your children, do it for other children, do it for Charlie.